Hello everybody, back here again for another Vlog-A-Day, and today is Tuesday the 30th, and today was a gorgeous day outside, absolutely beautiful. We're having some gorgeous sunrises and sunsets. We're being told that it's the cause of some smoke coming down from the fires in Canada, which unfortunately the fires in Canada sucks, and that's bad for them, but it's making some beautiful extra long golden hours, they usually call it in the photography world, and it's just been stunning. Unfortunately, I've not been able to really get up and go out and enjoy it much, but I've been seeing it from the house, and it is absolutely beautiful. So got up today. Did not sleep worth the crap. I don't know. It was just my toes were jacked up, and they were really giving me problems last night, and just was not feeling it. Plus, I had a bunch of their crap weighing heavy on me for some information that came down in my life that's definitely not what I thought I'd be thinking about at the time. So went ahead, got a couple hours of sleep there, woke up, and then got a little bit done, and actually laying back down and getting probably 2 more hours of sleep, which really worked out very well because I definitely needed that. So I guess I ended up with about 5 hours of sleep overall, but it's split up in 2.5 times. So one of those things that happens. Got some breakfast in me, was kind of nervous, kind of excited about going over and seeing the doctor, getting all my gauze and stuff, my bandages removed so I could finally see my toes after all that time. It was just kind of, I don't know, kind of freaks me out a little bit to see them, and I was just not really sure. Went ahead and took a shower, had to wrap my feet up, of course, not supposed to get them wet, and I actually kind of contemplated, accidentally, quote unquote, getting a hole in the bag and lining some water to get in there on top of the bandages down near my toes, knowing I was going to be taking them off in just a couple hours. And I thought if I could soak them down a little bit, make it a lot easier to get the blood soaked gauze and stuff off my feet. And I was definitely very much not looking forward to having that happen. So especially because I was still having both feet, one foot was bleeding a lot worse, so I was still having some blood from the bleeding coming through, where it would be, it's still not fully healed up enough, I guess, to stop bleeding. So definitely was excited about it. I actually had my aunt run me over there. She's offered, and she could have taken me over the first time, but I didn't want to bug her with it, because I already had told her I had somebody else doing it, and that fell through. And I had a couple other people I thought was going to do it, and that all fell through. So it's one of those things where I went ahead and said, heck, I really enjoy spending time with my aunt. Her and I get along great. I wanted to talk to her about the trip, moving her daughter and that kind of thing stuff too. So we had a great conversation over there and back and the whole process. I could have drove myself over. I drove around yesterday and that a little bit, and I wouldn't have been that big a deal, but it would have definitely been not cool if somebody would pull that in front of me. I would have had to slam on the brakes real hard because I would have blew my stitches out just in that, because the front of my feet are still not real good yet. So got over there. Got in the hospital, it's the doctor's office inside the hospital, same building, small town type stuff. Went ahead, went back and got checked in, filled all the paperwork and whatnot, talked to a couple of the, I don't know, receptionists, secretaries, whatever I want to call them, at the front, and was basically, they got talking about running and whatnot. I actually got talking about what I was there for with the toes and stuff. Told them I was in there because they're running too much and whatnot, whatever. That was kind of interesting. Headed back out, waited for the doctor to see me. Went in, talked to the nurse. She was talking about how she had thought about taking up running, and I gave her my cards and said, hey, if you ever want to, basically get into running, let me know. We're not that far apart. We can meet halfway, or I can come over here, you can come over there, and kind of give you some pointers and tips, even through emails and whatnot. So hopefully, if she ever gets her mind around it, she's definitely not, obese or out of shape. She's probably out of shape and thinks that way, but not fat, out of shape. So there's a big difference. Went ahead, doctor came in. He went ahead and okayed me, throwing the GoPro turned on real quick to kind of feel him pulling the gauze off, and I was super excited about how easy it came off. He was cutting all the bandages off and that. Got to the part, and he's like, take a deep breath, as he went to pull it off my big toe. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. I was really dreading it, and he kind of yanked it off there pretty quick, and it did hurt, but it was not nearly like I thought it was going to be. So he did tell me one of the things he does, he just puts tons of salve on there before he wraps him up, to the point like he literally can't hardly see a toe. Wraps him up that way when he takes the bandages off, it doesn't stick. He said a lot of times the OR nurse staff are usually kind of upset with him and how much salve he wants to put on there, because you're not there when I take them off. This is going to be painful as shit. The more gauze or I have in between the gauze and the blood and the bandages, the better off it's going to come off. And it went off. It all came off pretty well. So I was pretty excited about that. They look gross as hell, like absolutely gross as hell. tons of stitches on them. The stitches are way long and they're itching at me right now. But I went ahead and he threw some gauze back on a couple of them that were bleeding out, still pretty good. Hoping it'll help kind of stop the bleeding. It's still bleeding out on me. It's, I don't know, been hours and hours now. So went ahead and he wrapped, put like a little sock type thing. It's basically like a long sleeve. Slid it top of my foot, twisted it like you would a bread bag. Sometimes pull it back on top of itself to hold it in place. And that was just basically to keep more dirt and stuff out. It's the main thing. So it's all covered in blood. They're gross looking right now too. So I'm going to wash it up probably tomorrow. And I've got a couple other socks I'm going to cut up to do the same thing with. I'm going to go ahead and wash them again before I do, because I realized that who knows what I've come in contact with, and there's still very, very open wounds in my foot. I'm going to run them through the washer with some bleach solution, make sure I can try and keep them as sanitary as possible before I throw them back on my feet. He's telling me to keep my feet open and as little bit of gauze and wrapped up bandages as I can. I haven't put anything on them since I got home from him. A little bit of gauze he had on there. I'm going to wrap them up tonight before I head to bed, just because I don't want them getting like cut on the blankets and just kicked around and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to tape them all up tonight. Hopefully it'll come off tomorrow super easily. I can get them wet like in the shower and stuff Thursday. So hopefully that'll happen. The next Thursday, he was going to pull the stitches out. He's another like hour drive from there at the other place, and he said to heck with it, just do it Tuesday. So it's 2 weeks from today. So it'll be about 2.5 weeks after surgery. But he said once I get the 2-week mark, I can start really kicking my running up. And he doesn't want me really running at all until after the stitches are out. He told me today that once it stops bleeding enough that I can get some real shoes and socks on, he knew I was wanting to run so bad, because I was talking about the run streak, and was like, just keep it as limited as possible. Trying to stay on soft courses, trying to keep it to the mile thing, whatever. And I told him, I said, I gave up on that Friday when I couldn't run, and my run streak died. I that night determined, screw it. You're getting a full 2 weeks. I won't even try any running at all. So it'll be 2.5 weeks. I'm not going to think about running until the stitches come out. He can look at it. He can sign off on it. And then I can start doing just short little jaunts. I'm just going to go super slow, super short. I'm going to stick to the trails that are like the grass trails, the dirt trails, and the timber. And I'm going to wear my thicker soled shoes. And I'm going to run short distances as slow as I can, and then work my way up until it's fully healed. My goal is to be a month off on these feet, and I want them 100% healed. My training will give me plenty of time to still get to September for my race, my 50 miler. I was going to start my training 30 days after my surgery, which will be the 25th, and my goal is just to get out there and then bust my ass training up until September. So I'm going to September healthy, and I'm also going to not worry about run streaking, because I think that's one of the reasons I had such trouble with my toes. Every day I never had time to really settle back down and really heal up in between. So I'm going to run, I'm going to set it up probably 4 days a week as my goal. I'm going to run 4 days a week, maybe even 3, because I've got enough time in my bones and my muscles, my mind. I know I can do it. So if I cut it back to even 3, maybe, I've got 2 different plans. I got a 3-day and a 4-day plan set up both. And if I do the 3-day, I'll just do more biking and that kind of stuff. If I do the 4-day, I'll do a little less biking. But it's amazing how much just that slapping the feet on the ground is going to help by not doing that every single day. So I've got to get these toes healed up, because I'm right there. He said I'm 2 millimeters of skin away from bone. And if I get a bone infection, it's removal of a toe, 95% likely removal of a toe. So that right there is where we're at. I'm super excited about it. It's gross. Like I said, I got some video. I haven't even looked at the video yet. Got a couple pictures. I sent them out to some people, and they're all like, gross as shit. You know, why would you do that to yourself? So on and so forth. So definitely, it's really interesting. There's somebody I was really wanting to share this with, and they're not in my life right now. So I'm not sure we're on a break, as they call it, and figure out what's going on with that whole process. So, oh well, just going to keep myself busy. It's one of those things where I'm not having much luck with that. And then you add all the not being able to run to relieve the stress and that, and basically adding that extra part of my future, I guess. Basically, it was a giant part of my planning for what was coming up next in my life with this person that now is on a break, as they call it. So, who knows? Just couldn't have come at a better time, sarcastically said the man. But anyway, that's all I got for right now. I'm going to go ahead and maybe watch some Netflix and wrap up my feet and try and get some sleep. So you have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.